Hey everybody, Brian Davis Races, and you can too. We are just going to get right into it today. This is the start of the Masters 1-2-3 race at Trek Cup, the UCI race that took place in Waterloo, Wisconsin. So cool to have an event like this just a couple hours away from my house. Very excited about that. Hopefully they keep bringing it back for years to come. So this course for me was dry, which was definitely not the case. If you watch the UCI coverage of the race, it was not a dry race for the pros on Sunday. This is Saturday, the day before, but it was immediately after my race that it started pouring. Well, I wouldn't say pouring, but it rained pretty much for the next 40 hours or so. So the pro race was definitely soaked. Now they changed the course Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so everybody gets kind of a different experience, but certainly parts of it are repeated here and there. The field was somewhere around 60 people, I think. I got to look that up. Sorry, I don't have that information in front of me. I finished in the 40s. As you can see from that starting grid, I was on the second to last row. Now the problem there is I got the email, oh hey, this is going to be an incredible experience that's an hour and a half from your house. You should probably sign up to race. And what do? I ignore the emails and don't pay attention to it. So regret doing that. Really should have signed up early, should have raced Saturday and Sunday, certainly Sunday, because then I could stick around for the pro race, get footage of that, but such is life. So I had a bunch of B-roll footage and lifestyle footage and vloggy stuff before this, but I am struggling to get this out. My son is going in for surgery tomorrow on his ear, so I just got to get this video done, and that's what's happening now. So I did get a new camera for this race. I have a front GoPro, which you're watching the majority of right now. In the back, I have a Garmin Verb. But on my head, I also have a new camera for me, a Rilo 360 camera, which is really fun, but I just haven't quite gotten the hang of editing yet. So at some point, I could see it taking place of all the cameras. But anyway, you don't watch the channel for cameras. So this start was pretty fast. By the way, I want to say one thing. The way this event works versus the normal Wisconsin Cross Series, they intersperse the ability to pre-ride the course throughout the day, and I love that because you could show up an hour before your race, you could get one lap in roughly, and then you'd still get at least a pre-ride, and you can't do that in our state series, and that's kind of frustrating. They only open it up twice per day. So what I feel like is once one course is done, they should have everybody get off the course, and then immediately after that, like 100 yards after the start finish, and then after that people could get on and pre-ride the course, because you can pre-ride the course even though a race starts, no big deal, right? Anyway, that's my 2 cents. So that was a rough section for me. I went down that hill on my top tube once I bobbled, so that was tough. Now, my goal for this race was I really wanted to put it all out there. My goal for this race was to set a heart rate record. I didn't really care how I did. I just wanted to make sure that I gave maximum effort, and I did not end up setting a heart rate record. So that was kind of sad. I was a little frustrated about that. So the same affliction that happened in my last cross race coverage happened in this race. First 20 minutes, pretty good. 10 minutes where I want to quit life. And then the last 10 minutes, I start racing my bike again. Same thing happened here. And that really compromises my ability to finish well. I feel like I had a pretty good start that we just watched there, passed a whole bunch of people, and then I'm going to give it back here in a little bit. A whole bunch of people catch back up with me, but that's what happened. So I'm just playing the first lap of the race as is, so you can just get a feel for the course, and then I'll go into a little more thoughts as we go back around. I'll walk you through a little bit more carefully some of these turns. Now, most of these turns were pretty high speed. You didn't have to do a ton of braking. It was just laying off the gas and then getting back on it again. So, a couple things I want to point out, like technically, I really want to improve my skills, but I struggle with, to be perfectly frank, I struggle with how to go about doing that. I guess the answer is setting up some obstacles in my house or around my house or close by so that I can do a log roll over and over and over again until I can't get it right. Heard a really good piece of advice last night that the general rule of thumb is if you can't do an obstacle 10 out of 10 times or 9 out of 10 times, you shouldn't try to do it. You should just dismount and go, because you'll end up burning more time if you crash, a lot more time if you crash than if you successfully do it versus successfully dismounting and doing that obstacle. And we're going to come up here to a little rock wall shortly. Now that log one, there's no way that I have the skills to do. This wall was doable by a number of people in our race, but it's just, see, that guy got up, right? No problem. But what did he get from that? I don't know that I lost any. I don't know that I lost too many spaces, and how much he made up. So this was a good part of the course to gun it, and I didn't do it, and I should have passed that guy because he was not gunning it. But this was the only time in the course that was downhill, and you had the ability to really pick up some speed for a pretty good amount of time. And that's the thing with this course overall. It's just sort of relentless. It's just again and again and again, up and down, up and down, up and down. As soon as you think you got a rhythm, nope, there's another obstacle or there's another slow speed event. Now, again, I'm racing in fairly dry weather. I cannot imagine what this course was like later in the day when it got wet. Actually, I can because I was there to spectate. I saw it. It was tough, man. It was tough. Some of these off-camber sections, like in the beginning, there's going to be a little bit more off-camber coming up toward the end, where I was just on the ragged limit of my technical skills to get through that without washing out in the dry. So tire pressure wise, I've been really trying to pay more attention to that Helen Wyman formula. In my last video I went through that. I encourage you to watch that. That one is it's got a Wisconsin Cross logo on it, so if you find that, but in there I discussed the formula, and I've been playing around with that at cross practice as well. Essentially what I'm trying to do is bring my tire pressure down to the point where I'm bottoming out 1 time per lap roughly, and I'm okay with that. So this turn was interesting. I found a new line here, just bash straight ahead regardless of where everybody else is riding, and then 90-degree turn. The reason for that is you have to slow down to a snail's pace anyway when you hit that turn, no matter how you take it. So you could carry a lot more speed going into that 90-degree turn and then bashing your brakes and then turning versus trying to do it all gingerly and snake-like. Just go straight. So I found that to be significantly faster than most of my competitors. There's the rock wall that I could handle. That was nice. And the secret bar, as it's known at Trek headquarters there, was just a blast to go through. There's so much energy on the course. It's just so fun. I mean, what other sport can you jump on the same course? You can't drive your car down an F1 course the day before they race. You cannot do that. But you can do that literally hours before they race on Sunday. You can ride the same course that the pros are going to be riding. I just think that's amazing. And the accessibility of our sport. So walking around, I got a nice conversation with Jeremy Powers. He's commenting for GCN. He was gracious to me in the past when I invented the back bottle. He had something positive to say about it, which was really nice and refreshing. And just a wonderful person to talk to. I introduced him to my son. It was just great. And then I saw Sven Nys. He was, not surrounded by people, so I think the starstruckedness of the cycling audience is pretty in check. But there is no greater star than Sven, and he's just walking around by himself, hanging out. You could go up to him, talk to him, get a selfie, whatever you want to do. It's great. His son is out there just giving it all weekend. Tebow, I think is his name, but oh my gosh, that kid is incredible. His skills are unreal. Watch the GCN did a show called The Game of Bike, B-I-K-E, with Jeremy Powers as well, and that was a really cool video to watch skill for skill. And actually that rock wall that was too high for me to do, Sven, the next day I saw an Instagram clip where he just kept trying it like 4 times before he finally gave up on it to do a nose pick and then swing his back end of the bike over. So that's what it takes to get good at these obstacles. You just have to go back and do them again and again and again and again. In fact, I saw another video from Caleb Schwartz, local pro in Wisconsin, where he was doing stairs, and it just looked like he was just looping up and down these, hopping the stairs, hopping the stairs, hopping the stairs, just like that's what it takes. And that's what I'm, I guess, unwilling to give at this point. So you can see the rider ahead of me there, his tire pressure super, super low, and that's probably what it took to be successful on this course, even probably more later when it got wet. His pressure seemed really low. So before the race, I did a warm-up. I got my warm-up lap, or I got a pre-ride lap in, which was great, and my tire pressure felt pretty good. I think I was doing 21 and 23. At least that's where I left it. Interestingly, I told everyone to get a analog tire pressure gauge, and then I promptly lost mine, so I have to buy a new one of those. So I didn't really know where my pressure was with my normal gauge. So here I am finishing up the course, or this lap, right? And then there's my son right there to the left in the white yelling at me.
You're doing good.
Here's some self-talk. Just really feeling the self-talk thing lately, just trying to motivate myself to get through that these sections that are just difficult for me to remember to put down power. It takes a lot of mental discipline to keep on the gas, and that's what I'm finding with cyclocross this year. Like, I feel like I have really good fitness, I have pretty good skill, reasonably good skills, the bike is set up well, like everything's functioning well. I just need to remind myself to keep giving it gas. Like, I think I can take a little bit more. Obviously, as evidenced, I didn't set any heart rate records on this course. Dry course, there's no real obstacles in the way. I should have been able to set a heart rate record, but I didn't do that. And that has to do with the mental discipline to keep on the gas. Like, here's a good example, climbing up this hill. I didn't shoulder the bike. You were seeing that happen. That's slower. I should have done that. I did it later. But, that's okay. Thanks for the cheering. Diablo there. Okay. But I'm really I'm enjoying talking to the camera during the race. Well, I shouldn't say I'm enjoying it. It's just interesting. I think it makes interesting footage when I talk to the camera because you kind of get a sense of what's going on. It's amazing how I forget to talk to the camera because it's really hard to remember to do that. Not that I'm racing my bike. I'm not doing it just for YouTube. I really want to race my bike and do well. So
You're doing good.
You're doing good, right? So I remember to tell myself more power on the downhill section. That makes sense. This was such a fun course. What a great weekend. Thank you, Trek. Thank you for all the sponsors for putting this on. So a few more turns here. We're going to run through. I got the best picture ever from Focal Flame that was out there taking photographs for everybody. Let's just run through that. They got me on that rock wall. I guess one of the times I still look like an athlete going over it. How nice is that photo? Oh, I love that thing. That's a casket topper. That's a good one. So, if you're listening, if I croak, that's kind of the one I want on top of the camp, the casket, with the family over to the other side, the bike racing on the other side. So that'll be what I'd like. Thanks. Appreciate you guys for making that happen. Okay, so let's see where we're at, 26 minutes. This was a short race. It was only 40 minutes, so that was something that was on my mind too. I should really be able to give it. So I think we're, all right, 2 laps to go here. My son tells me to wipe off the camera lens, which was great because I do, and it makes a huge difference. So let's see when I get my reminder. And then my friend Mike cheering as well. That was nice. Wipe the lens and wipe the lens. Oh, what a difference that makes. That's so nice. I struggle to remember that. All right, after the crowds cleared, I was able to dial in these turns a little bit more and really focusing on going tape to tape. Like coming down this, I should let go over I should get much closer to those cones. That's where I should be spilling out so I can try to carry a little more speed. That's a big thing to remember that I see people, not that I'm an expert at cyclocross, but what I see people when they struggle is they follow the dirt path instead of the fast line. So don't worry about the path. Yeah, Brian Davis Races. All right, thanks for the cheering. Thanks for the cheering. It means a ton to me when you guys stop and say hi. Had a couple people come up and talk to me. One guy, his daughter was running the hand-up cupcake stand. He came up. He got a T-shirt for his effort for coming up and talk to me. So, again, it means a ton to me when you guys come chat with me, so please do so. Man, I just had a blast at this race. If we could do this every weekend, guys, this would be killer. After the race, great, bunch of vendors. SRAM was in there, Trek bikes, bunch of cool stuff happening in the little expo. Fun to talk to folks, fun to see pro riders warming up, getting ready. Just a great vibe for Wisconsin cycling. It's great to see everybody out there. And again, I'm playing around with this camera, so this is me finishing up. I'm going to show you a couple little clips from the Rilo. If you follow me on Instagram at BrianDavisRaces, you'll see more of that. Also, I want to point out some really cool stuff coming up. I'm going to be launching a new sock brand under my, something I created. I sourced it. I influenced it. It's custom to me. The brand name is called Follow Hollow. So at the end of the video, I'll give you the website. Join that. Sign up your email, and I'll let you know when we launch and start selling. Here's the cupcake business. She's only 14 years old, guys. How cool is that? There's the start of the pro race below after us. I think those were not pro race. I take that back. Juniors. So there you go. Visit Follow Hollow. Thanks for watching. Please do subscribe.